Hi, I'm Grace Baroni, and welcome to Conversations with the ERC5. Today, I am beyond delighted to have with us Michelle Wirth, owner of Mercedes-Benz in Springfield, and also founder of Feel Good Shop Local. She is an amazing, fabulous, fearless female, and we are delighted to have her here with us today.
Oh my God,
I
gotta live up to that now.
You're already living up to it. You're just fabulous, and I'm so delighted to have you here with us.
Thanks for having me, Grace.
So, tell us a little bit about your journey, because you spoke once at one of our breakfasts, and I didn't realize that you had an engineering background.
Yes.
And I thought, wow, this is just so amazing. So can you share just like a brief synopsis of how you got to owning your own Mercedes-Benz dealership?
Yeah, sure. So as you said, I'm a graduate of Lehigh University, mechanical engineer by training and by education. And I got my first job at Mercedes-Benz USA. Based in Montville, New Jersey, right out of college. And I started in the engineering department, and I worked on things like the safety and emission systems of the cars. And I was the conduit between the German engineers and the U.S. government to help get new products and technologies into the cars. And then after doing that for about 2.5 years, I got tapped on the shoulder to join the PR department. One of my friends I was having lunch with, actually. So this is a lesson in networking. Called me the next day and was like, hey, I got promoted and this job became available. Do you want to interview for the product and technology PR person? I was like, yeah, what's PR?
See, I love that enthusiasm.
So I interviewed and I figured out you just tell people what you know and you create experiences to immerse people in that. So I feel like that job really springboarded me into what I do every day of my life now, which is so I did PR, and then I got a chance to do marketing at Mercedes-Benz too. So I had 3 careers and 7 jobs in 15 years at Mercedes-Benz USA. Engineering, PR, and marketing. And when I left, I was running the national brand advertising for the brand. And then I decided to leave in 2015. They moved their corporate headquarters to Atlanta, Georgia, and I started a marketing consultancy, and I started working with dealerships on the tier 3 level. So that was a really interesting experience because as I was doing that, the opportunity to open a dealership became known to my husband and myself. And the way that works is literally it's a franchise model, right? But you can't just apply. Mercedes-Benz USA does a market study of the U.S. They decide where they want to put a new point. They chose Western Mass. We came up from Northern New Jersey where we were living at the time. Did our due diligence and look-see, and we were like, the decision to come here was easy. It was just the how to do it, right? All the steps to get here. But that's how we ended up in Western Mass. That's how we ended up as entrepreneurs. We always knew in the back of our minds that we wanted to do something. I knew for sure growing up as a kid. I always wanted to own my own business. So I feel like that was just the natural progression. And it's funny, if you don't know this about the auto industry, I feel like the pinnacle is not necessarily the president of a OEM, it's a dealership. It is, and
because that's the face, that's the contact person. It all comes down to the dealership and the people in there.
Right? Yeah. So it's been an awesome journey.
And you and your husband are fabulous. So we are so fortunate to have you here in Western Mass.
Thanks.
And I love your story because it is always about pivoting. You never know. You've got to be open to all opportunities that come your way. And as you said, networking, that's key.
Yes, it's
so
key.
You've got to be out there networking, and you don't know what positions will open up, and you kind of have to embrace it and see where it takes you.
Yeah. So an interesting point that I wanted to make about that is I feel like if I was not open to new opportunities, if I was, in my engineering lane and then somebody said, hey, you want to do PR? And I said, oh no, I'm not prepared for that. I didn't study that. I never did that before. I would have lost that opportunity, which would have set me on a different trajectory, right? But because I just said, sure, I'm curious, let's learn more.
Let's give it a try.
I had a conversation and then someone gave me a shot, right? And I learned PR on the job, literally. I bought when I got the PR job, I got PR for Dummies, and I literally read the whole book. And then when I got the marketing job, I'm like, marketing 101, let's figure out what they learned in school so that I, the basics, right? And then I had good mentors and great bosses and a propensity to learn. And that's how it all kind of, I think opportunity is when luck meets preparedness, or I don't know, luck is when opportunity meets preparedness, right?
And
so
if you're not prepared, you get that Dummies 101 book. That was me. Like with every opportunity that came along, because someone says, oh, you've changed careers. And I stop and think, and it's like, well, yes, I did, but not really, because it's always been about sales, retail, and it just kind of shifts each time. And, with each change, though, you figure out who your audience is and what is your noble purpose and how are you going to help the public find answers to the situation that they're in.
Yeah.
And it all comes together, and they've all been wonderful. And so I applaud you.
And grow with each experience, right? Like it opens up a new facet of like, I feel like every job opened up a new facet of my personality. And it was like exactly what I needed to be learning at that moment in time to prepare me for the next thing.
Yes, you grow as an individual, and your journey is enriched by all of the experiences that you have and the mentors and the people that guide you along the way.
Absolutely. And you're totally indebted to the people that have guided me along the way. They're all laughing right now.
But your car dealership, phenomenal. You're doing very well. You're very invested in the communities that surround you, and we are so grateful for that. And you sit on many boards, so the community is near and dear to you.
Absolutely.
And I also love the story that goes with your other interest, Feel Good, Shop Local. I'd love it if you could share that story, because that again was kind of a journey, right? You are out on a path doing some shopping, but you saw the big picture.
Yeah.
Share that with us.
I want to back up just a little bit, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
And just kind of share where this came from. So you have to understand, Peter and I, when we got the opportunity presented to us to open a dealership in Western Mass, we sold our house. We saved for as long as the amount of time they gave us to kind of get the building up and running. We, had to depend on investors and build partnerships. And it was putting our entire life into it. Does that make sense? We're moving our family. We had 4 children at the time. I was literally pregnant with our 4th when we started talking about doing this. And then she was 5 months old when we opened the store. So, building that business, this business has been like the joy of our lives. And also I really understand what it means when an entrepreneur puts their whole heart and soul into something that they believe in and know that they can make a difference in the world. Mm-hmm. So you have to rewind the tape a little bit. And, when we were in COVID, that was 2.5 years. We opened our doors in October 2017. And then by March of 2020, we were 2.5 years old. Mm-hmm. In dealer land, it takes 3 years before you know if a new store is going to be viable. Mm-hmm. And we were 2.5 years in the first 2 weeks of March, and we felt we were ahead of the curve. We were like, yes, we're finally in the black. This is going to be amazing. And then the last 2 weeks of March hit, and it was crickets. So it was a very real look at each other across the folding table in our son's bedroom moment where we were like, what do we do? The world is furloughing their employees. Every day we're losing money. How do we navigate this? And Peter and I both kind of came to the conclusion very quickly. We built this team. We are not losing this team. We're in it together. We don't know how this is going to go. We pulled the whole team together and we're like, we don't know how this is going to go, but we can promise you one thing. We're going to stay one step ahead of it every step of the way. And we're going to do this together. And if you see something, do something, right? If you see an opportunity to serve a need, plug a hole, please do it, right? And that was just this awesome bonding moment for our team, which was unintentional, honestly, at the time, but it became this culture that we've formed. It's like a family. It really is. I know you hear that over and over again, but everybody's there for each other. So now fast forward, the auto industry turns around, we're able to lift our heads up and leave our homes. And that's 6 months later, and I'm driving down my hometown of downtown Northampton, and every other storefront is closed. It felt like a ghost town. And then I parked my car like I did before COVID, and I walked into an artisan gallery that had been there for 36 years. And it took me all of 2 minutes to realize she was having a liquidation sale. And I can't explain to you that I had a visceral reaction in that moment. And I started tearing up, and I was I don't know. I started talking to the person behind the counter and later realized that it was the owner. But as I was talking to her, I was like, oh my God, I realized that I was part of the problem. Like I was getting everything delivered to the house and I was not shopping local. And then I was like, but why am I not shopping local? I'm like, oh, I could be part of the solution. What if I could connect people like her to people like me? I need the convenience of online shopping. I have 4 children. I do all my shopping at 10 o'clock at night after I put the kids to sleep and I have a quiet moment, And I'm like, I got to get that gift for this person. I got to get clothes for that, whatever you're doing, right? And I was like, oh my God, what if I could make it easy to find her and like connect her to people like me? So I created this platform because I looked for it. I was like, oh, this must exist, but it didn't exist. So I was like, let's make it. Let's create it. And so we created feelgoodshoplocal.com to make it easy to shop regionally, the way that you would shop any other online big box retailer, and shop product first, shop by category, and find the things you're looking for and shop local first, right? Like,
always shop local.
I mean, I think you just have to kind of, for me, everybody that has a dream and has a talent deserves to have that dream come true or that talent shine and be seen. And that's what this is all about.
And I applaud you for that. I just love that you have that vision. Back to the dealership and when COVID hit and how you made that decision, you and your husband, that this is part of our team, our family. We're not going to lose them. We've worked hard to create this team. We're not going to let this. So you're always looking at the big picture. And I love that because to your point, like if we always stay in our lanes, we don't see everything that's happening around us. And sometimes just a simple thing like, hey, how can I make sure that the folks on the corner who I love shopping are still here? How can I help them get there? How can I make sure that they're there for me the next time I come down, or the next family that moves into town and is looking for an art gallery to find the perfect piece for their wall at home?
We always want a vibrant downtown.
Yes,
all
that's
of us
what we
want
all
that.
want that.
Absolutely. And so that's what this idea was born out of. It's, I recognize that foot traffic to brick and mortar stores is not what it was before COVID, and it probably they're predicting that it will never be again. Right. Everybody got used to the convenience of online. So why not create an opportunity for small business to be sustained, help them pay their rent for those storefronts that we love to visit on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But they need us to support them all week long in order for that to exist on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Right? When I'm ready to kind of like do my Sunday stroll.
Yes.
So I feel like this gives them an opportunity to take their fair share of the online economy that they're not participating in today, just because it is not so easy to find. And you find what you're looking for locally all the time. If you don't know exactly where to go or who to go to, it's a little bit cumbersome. Like, can we all agree? So if we could take that barrier away, then it's like, that when you show up on Feel Good Shop Local, we verified all the sellers that are on there, that they're local to this region, that we stand behind the sellers and the promise to get you what you ordered, and money back guarantee. So that you could feel trust, right?
Yes. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like the mission of the chamber. We want to make sure those small businesses are there and our larger businesses, because here you have a larger umbrella. You've got Mercedes-Benz, but you saw the need to keep those folks on Main Street, because if our businesses are successful, our communities are, and we have these beautiful, vibrant communities. And that's what we all want. That's where we want to raise our families. That's where we want to grow old. That's where we want to be. We could talk forever. And I see Tony letting me know that our time is coming to a close, but maybe we could do a part 2, because there's so much I wanted to touch on with you. This has been so fabulous, Michelle.
Thanks, Grace.
For our audience that wants to learn more on what we've touched on now, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Sure. So you can find me and our team at mbspringfield.com, which is our dealership, or feelgoodshoplocal.com.
Okay. Thank you so much. This has
Thank
been
you.
so much fun, and we have to talk to Tony and see if we can get a part 2 going for this.
Part 2. I'd love that.
Thank you again,
Thanks
Michelle.
for
It's
your
been a
time.
pleasure. And thank you for joining us for Conversations with the ERC5. If you'd like to be the next guest here at Stonegate Studios in Wilbraham, go to our website, erc5.com, and you can sign up there.